pregnant lady is brought in by an ambulance, and she seems as though she was electrocuted. Her husband, Greg, is informed by the doctor that Anna, his wife, didn't make it. They tried everything to save her, but the trauma was just too much. However, the baby survives, but not without some abnormalities. It has no pigmentation, resulting to what is known as albinism, and in this case, it is strictly genetic. Greg breaks into tears, saying, "That's not my son." Sheriff Barnum, along with Jesse, pay a visit to a house where an old man had died. The cops manage to discover that a young boy is living in the basement of the house. Barnum brings Jesse along to try to talk him out of the basement into the real world without the cops having to go down there to drag him out. The boy, Jeremy Reed, has the name Powder because of his luminous white skin. It turns out that Powder has spent his whole life never leaving the house. The basement is filled wall to wall with books that he has not only read but memorized every word. This is only the first clue at his incredible powers. Powder is finally convinced by Jesse to step out of the basement for the first time in years. Sheriff Barnum takes him to the local boy's home in Wheaton City, until it can be determined if he might have other kin or what is to become of him. The boys are stunned by his appearance. They have never seen a person so white. Powder is very unlike the other kids and soon becomes the object of their ridicule. They immediately pick on him during lunch, making him feel bad about his appearance and how he doesn't quite fit into their circle. But soon, strange events begin to occur. It turns out that Powder can attract objects and bend them with his thoughts. He is also able to conduct electrical energy around him, and these actions makes other kids to fear him. Sheriff Barnum returns home to see his sick wife when he runs into his son, with whom he has a strained relationship with. His wife, Emma, is in coma, and the sheriff doesn't know what to do. Jesse takes Powder to a doctor for examination, and it turns out he is perfectly normal. She arranges for Powder to attend school for just a day and see if he likes it. Everyone at school stares as he walks into his class. During class, the teacher explains the functions of electricity and how it is transmitted to the brain. He goes practical, using an actual electrical appliance to demonstrate to the students. Something strange begins to occur as Powder is seen reacting to the presence of electrical waves in the room. Since he is able to conduct electricity, the powerful waves travels towards him to everyone's amazement as he absorbs the whole thing right before them. It is truly a terrifying sight. When the teacher comes close enough and touches him, he immediately gets goosebumps. Donald, Powder's teacher, reports this incident to Sheriff Barnum, who doesn't quite believe because the kid has no scratch on him to show that any of such thing happened. Powder escapes the hospital where he was placed for examination.
I feel like you got two heads the way everybody looks at you around here, huh?
My grandma used to say I have an electric personality.
Oh, that's okay.
The sheriffs intercept him at an old bridge, asking him to come quietly with them. Powder knows that they are afraid of him, especially Deputy Harley Duncan. He just wants to go home, far away from the city. Barnum manages to get Powder, and Jesse makes him come to a conference room filled with every single teacher at Wheaton High School. He shocks them all with his powers to control any electrical device. Jesse explains that the teachers can help him direct his powers for good, but Powder just wants to go home.
I'm interested in going home. Can they send me back?
Back to the matter at hand.
You're here to find out how I cheated. I'm not like other people.
Deputy Duncan is a macho man and expert deer hunter, and he takes the boys on a deer hunt. Duncan never misses, and sure enough, he shoots a deer. But when Powder arrives at the scene, seeing the animal painfully bleed to death, he grabs Duncan's hand and touches the dying deer so Duncan can feel the pain of the dying animal. Duncan tries to break free but simply can't until Powder is almost shot by one of the boys. On their return to school, Barnum and Jesse inquire about what happened, and Powder tells them that he let Duncan see what he was doing. He loses it, saying he doesn't like what anyone around him does. While speaking out of pain, glasses begin to shatter around the room, and this terrifies Jesse.
I want to go home.
Sheriff Barnum's wife isn't getting better. She is still in coma, and Barnum is running out of options. Donald finds Powder and approaches slowly, saying that he just wants to be friends with him. He finds out a lot of interesting facts about Powder and discovers how sweet a soul he is. Barnum pays a visit to Duncan, who is completely sickened by the event, and gives all his guns, saying that he has vowed not to ever hunt or kill anything again. Jesse and Sheriff Barnum come to get Powder to go to Barnum's house to see his wife if there's anything he can do to help her condition. Powder gently touches Emma and begins to share her thoughts with the sheriff. Barnum breaks into tears when Powder tells him that she needs to go, and he must say it's okay before she can. She has loved him more than any man in the world. The sheriff breaks down and nods, and his wife dies. Barnum's son arrives home to the bad news and sees his dad in tears. Being the only one he has left, he makes peace with his father as Powder watches from above. Lindsay, Powder's classmate who has a huge crush on him, goes on a date with him, and while at it, she attempts to make him act normal just like everyone else. They share deep connections and even a passionate kiss. This moment is short-lived when Lindsay's dad enters the scene, physically harassing Powder to stay away from his daughter or get whooped. Jesse comes to Powder's rescue and asks the man to get his hands off Powder immediately. Powder, who has now had enough of this bad treatment, opts to leave town, just before he decides to go check out the indistinct chattering coming from the school block. He comes across a boy undressing and stares in a rather creepy manner, until John, one of the boys, catches him. He accuses Powder of getting an eyeful of sky and challenges him to a duel, but Powder defends himself by telling him a few things about his father and what he said to him. Powder reveals John's deepest secrets right in before the other kids, and this gets John very mad, so he decides to retaliate by making an example of him. They strip Powder of his clothes and shove him into a pool of muddy water, making fun of his appearance once more. All of a sudden, Powder gets intense and goes into electric mode, causing everything iron around him to bulge out, after which an explosion immediately occurs, and John is seen lying down without a heartbeat. Powder goes to John and uses his hands to shock him back to life. After this incident, it becomes increasingly clear that he will never fit in, and so he runs away and goes back to the house he was raised, quietly returning into the basement in peace.
Jeremy? Jeremy, listen to me. We can track it all down.
She promises to find the right place for him if only he agrees to come with her. Powder breaks into tears. Sheriff Barnum and Duncan arrive at the house with one goal: to take Powder back. Donald and Jesse pleads with the sheriffs to turn their heads and let Powder be, but they won't.
I'm not gonna let this happen, Doug.
There is an approaching thunderstorm, and Powder uses the opportunity to make a run for it, with hands up in the air as if running towards something or someone. They chase him into the field as the lightning strike gets closer and closer, until suddenly Powder is hit by a powerful strike and is vaporized into thin air to everyone's amazement. Suddenly, the storm stops and all is quiet again, except this time, Powder is gone. This is Falcon Recaps. Thanks for watching.